He wants to break out of prison with this milk box. Unpack, peel off the film inside, and then secretly paste it on the key of the password lock. As long as the CO enters the password on it, it can be distributed according to the fingerprints on it. Determine the combination of passwords. There is an observation window on the iron door. He will put the wet paper under it in advance. Wait for the guards to close the door. After turning and leaving, he quietly opened the small door from the inside. Then enter the password. The gate opened. After coming out, he calmly deleted the surveillance video, hid in the ventilation duct, then changed into fighting clothes, ready to hide. Meanwhile, a woman waiting outside to meet her detonated the explosives in the car. Success attracted the attention of all, and the man climbed out from under the fire truck. Get on a car that's already ready. Escaped successfully. When the guards find out the man has made it home, he hurried to call for help. Catch a man, but the man changed his clothes. He took the initiative to return to the prison. Explained his escape process to the warden. Original. He is a famous prison escape master. My daily job is to escape from prison, to check for loopholes in prisons around the world, and then get paid to the warden. For more than 10 years, he never fails. Until this day, a woman found him, asked him to help check the security of a mysterious prison. Because I have never heard of this place, cautious Mike resolutely refused, but the other side offered us $10 million. Faced with such a high price, Mike agreed, the same as before. The assistant helped him prepare his false identity and the joint code in the prison, so that Mike's personal safety can be ensured. Still in his body, a tracker was implanted. Even if anything happens, they can also rescue Mike at the first time, but they never thought of it. This task was premeditated. He's been watched for a long time. When Mike just went out, he was stunned. Then, he was carried to the van. Counterpart detector found the tracker, and then with a knife, take out the tracker. Immediately after, the gang gave him another injection of anesthesia. Mike gradually lost consciousness. He didn't think of it. Waiting for him, it will be an unimaginable danger. When he wakes up, find yourself in an airtight suspended transparent cell. Mike quietly observed everything around him. Guards are everywhere. What he doesn't know is, this is the strictest prison in the world. Cameras are everywhere. Monitor prisoners at any time. Even the expression on the prisoner's face, they can also accurately capture. Soon, the warden began to interrogate Mike. He'll be tortured. This ticket is difficult. Mike quit. He gave out the joint code. Want to terminate the action, but the other party refused. Is there something wrong with this? It's time to assemble. Everyone was called to the central clearing. I don't know what to do. Just then, a group of people surrounded Mike. I want to teach him a good lesson, but Mike is not a vegetarian. One blow brought down the man. The two sides are about to have a fierce conflict. Suddenly, a man shouted, "Stop them." His name is Peter. A group of younger brothers followed behind. It seems that he is still the leader here. Pete came up to Mike and got close to him, but Mike didn't want to talk to him. But I want to escape. I'm sure I'll use him.
I need to get into the isolation area.
There is a special prison for rioting prisoners, Pete promised, but he turned around and knocked Mike down. This is the strictest prison in the world. Prisoners have video surveillance when they go to the toilet. Every cell is transparent and independently suspended in the air. Want to escape? It's really hard. 4 guards guard a prisoner. They are fully armed. If only one person escapes, immediately shoot and kill. Here, prisoners can't tell the difference between night and day. Mike to escape, designed to get into the confinement room, but he never thought of it. It's more terrible than I thought. Before he could see the situation around him, a strong light came directly. Mike couldn't open his eyes. Soon, he was dehydrated, but he was still in the glare. Explore the combined structure of the confinement room. Want to find a way out. When he's released, Mike felt like he was dying, but he also found a way to break it. That's the rivet on the ground. He found Pete. Ask him to help find a piece of iron, but the prison is full of cameras. The surrounding area is smooth and cleaner than the face. Where can I find the iron plate? Mike had to admit it. I'm a prison master, and promised Pete, as long as you can escape, I'll take him with me. So Peter thought of something. Got himself caught in the interrogation room. Keep laughing at the warden. The other party was really angry. Order subordinates to press Pete to the ground. Then he put the water pipe in his mouth. This is waterboarding in prison. Quite painful. Peter almost died. Suddenly, he rolled over and climbed under the table. He took the opportunity to remove the cover of the sewer. This is the only piece of iron. When Pete comes out, he was handed over to Mike immediately. Mike also told him his plan. Through his observation, he discovered the structure of the prison. They are all vertical. This shows that the prison is built underground, and there's water under the confinement room. That could be the sewer. Down there. I'm sure I can climb up there. So the key is, he's going back to the cell again. Validate your ideas. Peter got up at once, launched an attack on the prisoners on the side, and Mike took the opportunity to hold the bread in his hand. Just then, the guards arrived. They took all the prisoners. They're all locked up in a cell. As soon as Mike comes in, take out the iron piece and bend it, forming a concave mirror for condensing light. Reflected strong light. Shine on the rivet. Not long. The screws on the ground expand due to heat. Come out a little. Mike immediately picked out the screw. Then Then put the bread in your mouth, pounding frantically on the ground. He's signaling Pete. When Peter heard that, start going crazy right away. Attract the attention of prison guards. Mike took out the bread from his mouth, blocked the camera, then opened the lid. Get in. He went underground, then climb up the water pipe. But when he climbed to the top, open the lid. Mike is confused. This prison is not built underground at all, but on a huge tanker at sea. The sea is boundless. There are guards everywhere. There's no escape. Mike had to go back the same way. Wait till you get out of the cell. He felt an unprecedented despair, unable to contact friends. I can't find a contact. How did he escape? Meanwhile, the warden found the screw on the ground. Got it. Mike's plan to escape. He began to torture Mike. Men can't sleep as long as he's a little sleepy. A prison guard on the side would knock on the glass and disturb him. As long as he's asleep, the guards will come in and beat him up. It makes Mike miserable, but it still failed to stop his determination to escape from prison. He'll be at dinner. Secretly make something called sextant, a pair of broken glasses. Add a ballpoint pen. Put them together on a card. A simple prison escape tool is done. This is specially used for bearing measurement. Pete, it was exposed in the last operation. Mike needs to find a new helper. This is the bald head. He made his own escape plan. Tell him everything, but he turned around and told the warden, with the understanding that he's going to pray where there's light. So the warden, have him taken to the deck, but he just came to the deck. He secretly took out the sextant that Mike gave him. Original. He pretended to compromise. In fact, it is to measure the azimuth. Mike sees hard-earned data. Calculate immediately their latitude according to the counterclockwise flushing direction of the toilet. They're in the northern hemisphere. Based on the humid sea breeze, they may be in Morocco, in Africa. Next, just find one person. Help him deliver the message to his assistant. They can escape. Mike thought of the doctor. He never talks, but he has some sympathy for the prisoners. Mike had to pretend to be hurt. Find the doctor again. Soon, he began to pretend to be ill again. Keep asking doctors for help. The time is ripe. Mike confessed himself. It's the identity of the prison master. But the doctor could not bear it. Agreed to help deliver the message. He sent an email to Pete's staff. Everything is all set. On this day, Mike kept banging on the wall in bed. He's delivering a message, but he never thought of it. The warden was already under surveillance. See everything. There will be riots in Area C tomorrow morning. He immediately sent more troops to Area C. They will be wiped out at one stroke, but he doesn't know. It's all Mike's trap. All the COs are in Zone C, so where he really is, there will be no heavy guard. Wait until the next day. Bald-headed riot. So the two gangs started fighting. In a mess, the CO on the elevated shot to stop it, but he was knocked down by Mike. They climbed up the steel ladder, just about to go out, but found that the gate had been locked. I can't open it at all. It's an electronic lock. Mike had to go back to the power room and cut off the power. The gate was opened. Peter ran to the deck in time. Meanwhile, the plane that came to meet him has been in place, but Pete refused to leave because Mike hasn't come yet. But the prison guards have come after me. Pete picked up the machine gun decisively. Keep shooting at the enemy. The warden brought people to the power supply room. He knew that Mike was here, so I asked my men to restore power, but almost at the same time, the water tank below starts to flush automatically. The warden was dumbfounded because Mike is hiding in the water tank. Water tank I flushing. He was washed into the sea. When he finally swam to the sea, Peter is waiting for him on the plane. Mike immediately climbed up the ladder. After the plane lands, they also waited for those who came to meet them. Mike thinks the woman in front of him. It's so familiar. Original. She is Peter's daughter. Father and daughter have long heard that Mike is powerful, so I designed him to help me escape from prison. Mike smiled. See light suddenly, although the warden is dead, but the man who introduced him, that's the real damn thing. His purpose. That's why Mike is locked in there forever. Soon after, find yourself trapped in a closed car, and this car, in the container of a huge cruise ship. He can't escape at all.